Oh hey there, it's Wes, and today I'm finally getting round to talking to you about the Godox H200R. This pretty box right here. An Amazon vendor called Each Shot wanted to send me this over to have a look at it, which is great because I was hoping to have a look at it myself eventually. So this cute little package, we have a new accessory for the Godox AD200. It's just another end to put on the flash. A round end. So, what does that do for us? Well, here are the regular ends that attach to the Godox AD200. We have the Fresnel head, we have the bulb, and now we have the round head. On the Fresnel head, we have just a generic fixed zoom Fresnel pattern, as well as some LEDs in the back. On the bulb, we have a very typical flash bulb, no LEDs, nothing fancy here. And on the round head, there's actually a bulb inside here. It's not a little xenon flash unit, it's actually a full-on bulb. And there are LEDs around the side. Let's have a look at that. I'm gonna mount that on one AD200. I'm gonna mount this on another AD200. Let's turn them on. One of the first things that I wanted to know was, how bright are the LEDs? The LEDs on the regular Fresnel head are kind of legendary for being useless. There is just two levels of brightness, on and off. Not terribly bright, not exactly useful for video work. Let's try this out with the new round head. 2, 3, oh, 3 levels of brightness. We're already making progress. And how bright is this? Whoa! This is quite a bit brighter. Oh, okay, whatever. I mean, it's brighter. It's probably not going to be great for a key light anyway, but it might function for, say, macro work or something like that. I'm not exactly sure about its utility for a modeling light. It is still nowhere near as bright as the modeling LEDs that are built into the Godox AD-B2. We have 3 levels of brightness, and this is even brighter. And now I say nowhere near as bright, it's almost as bright as one of these, but you slap 2 of these together, you have a tremendous amount of brightness, and it is bright enough to do practical video work with. I've done it before. I'll do it again. As a matter of fact, it's what I usually use as my side light. I don't want to call it a hair light for obvious reasons. So in today's video, I'm going to use the 8600 Pro instead. I have had some questions in the past about what I do for the lighting in my videos, and that is what I do. I take an AD-B2, a couple AD-200s, and that's my side light. Helps cause some separation. Anyway, where were we? So what's the point of this thing? Why do we need another head for our AD-200? I am not going to pretend that this exists in a vacuum. This no doubt has a lot to do with the Profoto A1 round-headed speed light. And coming in the future, there will be a Godox round-headed speed light. We'll talk about that a little more pretty soon. And once that came out, people got all excited about having a round light. Because these Fresnel heads, they cast a rather odd shape. Well, let's just not talk about it, let's just do some tests. So here you see the Fresnel head. I mean, it looks fine. I was okay with that, so at wedding receptions and small rooms, I would bounce this light, and that would give me my lighting. And here we see the effect of just putting the bulb on there. The light kind of spreads out a bit too much and lights up the whole room. This can be fine, but if you're trying to control your lighting, it's not great. And then moving on to the round head, we do see a slightly smoother fall off on the light. It's not a huge difference, and honestly, it is more difference than I expected. I was expecting it to look pretty much exactly the same, but to my eye it is a bit more pleasing. If we have a look at the ceiling where I'm bouncing this light in the kitchen here, you can see the exact effect that we're having. You see the Fresnel head, you have just a tight little oval of light, and it's not even in and of itself. It's very hot in the middle, very cool on the sides. And obviously the pattern caused by the bulb, there is no pattern, it's just some light. And then if you look at the round head, it is fairly even in the middle of the light. Essentially, you're doing a better job of emulating a softbox when you're bouncing it off the ceiling. This is fine when you're fairly close to the subject, but let's say you're in a very large reception hall or something, the difference is going to be negligible when you're bouncing it. Now, if you flip that around, again, in a very large hall, say it has dark ceilings, you point this light straight down at the crowd, this is where things are going to get a little bit better in my mind. With the Fresnel, you can get some strange artifacts, some harsh edges. I mean, just look at what was on the ceiling, or remember what I showed you on the ceiling. Whereas with this round head, the fall off's going to be more natural. You're going to get a lot less strange shadows at the edges of the light. Whereas the Profoto A1, you're looking at $1,000 for just the privilege of having a round head on a speedlight. This guy, being a little more versatile, it's not super cheap. You're still looking at $79.99 for this thing. In and of itself, it's not a flash. It's just a thing that you stick on your flash. So, is it really worth that? I don't know. For free, I could just use this thing. And honestly, this has served me pretty well over the years. It's more compact, it's lighter, and it does an okay job. Sorry, Roundhead, I don't really know what you're for exactly, at least at that price point. Oh, hi there. It's the Godox AK-R1 accessory pack. What do we have in here? So, let's open up this box, and inside we have another cute little pouch to keep your stuff. In here there are a whole bunch of goodies. We have a bounce card. We have a whole stack of modifiers that appear to be stuck to each other. Why is that, you ask? Well, it's because they're magnetic. Who would have thought of that? Also included in here, we have some flash gels for modifying our light, stuck together in their protective plastic covering. We have a teeny tiny snoot, a round head, a Fresnel head of sorts, a grid, and a place to put our modifiers. Oh yes, let's not forget about our barn doors. All of a sudden, this round head is starting to make a little bit more sense. Now we're competing with not just Profoto, but also Magmod. And not only are we competing with Magmod, we're also competing with Scotch tape and these cheap little gels that I sometimes strap to my lights. I know, you're saying just get a Magmod or stop doing that, you idiot. It'll melt and catch fire. Sometimes it's just convenient to have these in a little pocket of your bag instead of a big old Magmod or something like that. Also, I'm cheap. I shoot Godox. Not saying it's cheap. Anyway, what interests me most about these modifiers, these gels, is when I'm shooting at a wedding reception, I obviously can't control the color of the ambient light that's coming around. Sometimes it's super cool LEDs, most of the time it's these very, very warm incandescent lights, sometimes it's a mix of both. So, how accurate are the colors coming out of these things if, say, I want to balance the color of my light shooting out onto the dance floor? I would normally just crack out Baby Groot and give him the chance to test this for me, but we're talking about skin tones here, and he just doesn't have what it takes, so we're gonna have to take some pictures of myself again, I'm sorry, and see if we can balance this out. Let's try it! As you can see in this cute little gel holder here, there is room to put in more than one gel. So with my very yellow Edison bulb here, just one gel slightly balances it, and then two makes it pretty close. So if we rebalance the color to actually be a natural tone. It's close, it's not perfect, but it's definitely a heck of a lot better than having it split and having like one side of the face yellow and one side white. So that's not so bad. One thing that I wish that Godox had done with this kit is you've got a whole bunch of gels here and only one holder. Hopefully in the near future they'll be coming out with a kit that's just gel based so that we can do more light modification. I thought that maybe I could take the Fresnel modifier out of its base, and you'd think that this would be more work than not doing so. The threads for them are a totally different size, so this is thicker, these are thinner, and so they aren't really cross-compatible in these little holders. I think it would be pretty cheap to just come out with a bunch of different colored gels. Then you can order those from Godox. Because right now, all we've got are some pretty natural colors. There's a green-blue one in case you have excessively blue light. A picture of that. Balance, not too bad. And then there's a bunch of clear ones for, I don't know what, in case you need to have clear light. The snoot doesn't make a big difference. Not big on snoots anyway. The grid, I like that. The bounce, good for controlling light. Mostly the gels and the easy, very small, very compact, very easy to hide away and put in a box modifier kit. This is what excites me. Yes, I know, this is what excites me. I stand by it. So hopefully in the future there will be more modifiers, this will become a whole flash modifier ecosystem, and signs say, yes, that is what's going to happen, because in the very near future, supposed to be in March probably, who knows, the round-headed flash will come out from Godox. Hopefully I'll be able to get my hands on one of those in a timely manner and try that out. But what I do know is, this stuff's going to be joining me at weddings in the spring, once those start back up again, and I'll be having some fun. Slapping on some light modifiers, playing with magnets. If you have any questions about this whole kit, about the round flash, about the modifiers, leave me a comment down below. I'll get back to you lickety-split. If you have any suggestions for future videos, let me know that as well. If you think that this whole thing is a huge waste of money, let me know. We'll talk about that. But if you want either of these things, again, links down in the description. Again, Amazon, on Adorama, just depending on where you like to buy your coffee. Okay, I suspect that wherever it is that you buy your coffee does not have flash modifiers. If they do, let me know where that is. Sounds like a great spot. So, until next time, go take some photos.